Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the penultimate deadline stream, Double Gameweek 37 deadline stream. Right, how are you guys doing? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you guys are watching from. Thank you guys for tuning in early. We are 3 hours before the deadline, as usual, as always. And there are a couple of decisions I have to make. My changes aren't made yet, as you guys can see. Couple of yellow flags, couple of red flags as well. Yeah, captaincy of course is not going to be on Isak as well. Haven't made my transfers yet, right? But for those of you who watched the team selection video, my planned transfer is to do Solly March to Bruno Fernandes and Isak down to Enciso. Right, so Enciso will be my double game week 37 punt. Right, so for now that is the plan, but there's a lot of news going around that Rashford isn't fit. There's a couple of videos on Twitter going around saying that he may not have travelled with the squad. There are a couple of flights that are landing from Manchester to Bournemouth, so on and so forth. Right, so there's a lot of speculation surrounding Marcus Rashford, but my initial thoughts last night when I saw the videos, and also the initial thoughts surrounding whether I want to keep him or not, is basically, even if he doesn't start the Bournemouth game, alright, fitness-wise, we know that Rashford is fit, right? And even if he doesn't start the Bournemouth game, as a Chelsea fan, I still do think, like, Chelsea at home as a single game week fixture, right? Let's take it that he misses the Bournemouth game, which is the worst case scenario. Chelsea at home at Old Trafford for Marcus Rashford, I think that is a single game week fixture that could actually see Marcus Rashford score pretty well as well, right? And that is coming from a Chelsea fan. So my thoughts are still the same, right? I think that I don't intend to sell Marcus Rashford, and it's pretty much what I'm going to say for the rest of the stream, which is why I'm getting it out of the way, because I know a lot of people are going to ask whether we should be selling Rashford if he's not traveling. Should we be getting rid of him for maybe Bruno Fernandes, etc. But the thing is, you will want him in Game Week 38 as well, right? In Game Week 38, Marcus Rashford has Fulham at home, right? And bear in mind as well, Champions League isn't 100% secured for Manchester United. They still have to win their remaining games just to be 100% sure. So because of those reasons, I think I will just want Marcus Rashford back in Game Week 38 as well. So there's no point selling him. So I might as well just keep him and take it as if take a chance basically that he'll start the Bournemouth game. If he doesn't, then I have the Chelsea game. Focus my transfers elsewhere. Alright, so let's say hi to some of you guys in the chat. 34 of you guys watching already. Thank you guys for tuning in bright and early today. FPL, Yellow Army, Will, AA, Philip Marshall. Alright, Dusty Tonez as well. Some of you guys, thank you guys for tuning in so early. I've spent a couple of minutes before the stream preparing for preparing for the new the new layout that you guys saw just now in the previous screen, and also in the outro as well. I was working on some graphics for that, so hopefully you guys like it. I think the the other outro that I had was kind of in a situation where there was some copyright strikes or something, so I had to change the outros for a while. We did not have outro music, but now we have, and now we also have the stream intro music back, so hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. Right, FBI Yellow Army says unlocked De Gea, Shaw, Trent, Estupinian, Rashford, Mitoma, Mahrez, McTen, Salah, Haaland, Captain, Alvarez, Bench, Raya, Isak, Trippier, Botman. Good luck this game week. It looks like a very strong team though. I do like it, especially the Alvarez punt. I think for Man City assets this week, I do think like Alvarez, Mahrez, and Foden are my favorite ones this game week. If I had to choose, or if I had a transfer and I had to choose a Man City midfielder this week, it will be Mahrez. Yeah. So for those of you who do have Mahrez, I think he will start both. I mean, it's still a prediction, but I do think he'll start both. Who to start, Saka or Trippier? Thing is I will start Saka for sure over Trippier, but the thing is, Arsenal don't really have a lot to play for now, right? They don't really have a lot to play for. If Man, especially, I mean, they're playing before Man City, so you know anything could happen. I mean, Arteta still says that the league is still not won, but honestly speaking, I don't think like they would play with a lot of fire left in them. But Nottingham Forest, I mean, for sure, is still a fixture that you would think Arsenal would do well, right? So I would start Saka ahead of Trippier. Which Man City midfielder do I buy? Grealish, Mahrez, or Gundogan? I think Mahrez minutes are the best, right? It's hard to predict, but I think Mahrez's minutes are the best out of the Man City mids. Any transfer suggestions to chase Frank? Current lineup is Trent, Estupinian, Shaw, Grealish, Saka, Mitoma, McAllister, Rashford, Haaland, Wilson. Maybe Alvarez? Wilson for Alvarez? Or can you really sell Wilson? Sell Dalot to Lindelof. Thing is, we don't really know whether Dalot starts or not, right? And it's whether we want to waste a transfer on that. I think the lineup for Man United's back line will probably still be the same, right? Luke Shaw at left back, Wan-Bissaka at right back, and then Lindelof and Varane in centre back. So I do think like Dalot wouldn't get a lot of minutes. I don't mind the swap. I don't mind the swap to Lindelof. Best strikers under 6.5 million. I would say Enciso. I'm gonna get Enciso. There's Ferguson as well. You can go for Ferguson. But aside from that, I think the other cheap ones, I don't think you would go for them this week, to be honest. Alvarez is pretty cheap as well, but I'm not sure if he's under 6.5. Is Grealish to Mahrez okay? If you have either of Grealish or Mahrez, you just stick with them. I don't think you waste a transfer. It's too difficult to predict, right? So I don't think you waste a transfer trying to get a better City asset. Philip Marshall, need to do a transfer. Should I sell Trippier to have money in the bank for next week? I'll buy a City defender, meaning I bench Wilson. Could also sell Mitoma, McTan, Rashford for Mahrez, but maybe not worth a hit. Yeah, I would buy a City defender, Philip. There are a couple of you guys in that situation as well, where you have to burn a transfer. I mean, for those of you guys who are set up really well, you have to burn a transfer. Then I think getting Trippier out for a City defender is probably what I would do. Dalot to Lindelof is actually I think I would make the move. I've seen a couple of you guys in the chat asking. I think I would make the move. Take a -4 to sell Antonio to a 7.5 million striker. Who would you go for though? It's at 7.5 mil. Most of the assets that we want to attack are all in the midfield. Yeah. Cheap strikers probably are the ones that I would go for. Regarding Rashford's illness, shall we take a -4 for him? I would just keep Rashford. Yeah, I would just keep Rashford and pray that he starts both. But if not, Chelsea at home is a fine single game week fixture for him. Fulham at home in game week 38 as well is when you will want him back. So no problems keeping him, if you ask me. I don't see any problems keeping him. Is it risky going without United? I already have no free transfers and only United player I have is Dalot. I don't know how likely Dalot is going to play. I think Dalot probably wouldn't play. Right, a lot of you guys are intending to do Dalot to Lindelof, which I don't mind it. Right? I don't mind the move. But I think it will be a little bit risky going without Bruno Fernandes this week. I would think so. Would I say he's a priority transfer? I would say so actually. I would say that Man United are in a situation where they really, really have to win. at least to secure their Champions League spots. So I do think like Bruno Fernandes is pretty important this week. I would prioritize him if I don't have him already. Justin Barton says, "Hey brother from New Zealand, any new team list news?" Well, first of all, thanks for tuning in from New Zealand. Team news at the moment, I think we're a little bit early. I'm just checking Twitter right now to see if there's anything, but I doubt we get anything so early. Even the early kickoff game, this today, even the early kickoff isn't a very exciting one. At least from an FPL perspective, right? Spurs and Brentford, I don't think we're going for any of those players. Ivan Toney is of course suspended until January next year, for those of you guys who haven't caught up with the news. Ashmit's in the chat. Vincent as well. Rashford plus Isak to Mahrez plus Martial for a -4. What do you think? I wouldn't sell Rashford this week, right? I will, because you would want him back in Game Week 38 as well. So I wouldn't sell Rashford. Isak to Martial, I think, is an okay move. Isak to Martial is much more okay than Isak to Wilson. Wilson to Martial. Felix says, "Is it worth to take a -8 to get Bruno and captain him?" A -8 is basically the maximum that I would go to for hits this week. I don't think there's enough time for big hits to pay off this week. So a maximum of -8 is what I would take. I'm taking a -4 myself. If you have to take a -8 to get Bruno Fernandes in, I think you could just about justify it. Especially if you're captaining him. You're chasing a bit of rank and you want to captain him, then yeah, of course. Ashmit says, "Just 90 points last game week. Overall rank fell from 20k to 31k. Well, to be honest, there's 11 million players now. Considering the number of players last time when there was about 8 million, 7 million, top 10k was still the target that a lot of people were going for. But the way I look at it now, honestly, the top 50k or even top 100k is something to be proud of, because there's 11 million people, right? It is getting tougher and tougher every year. So honestly, anything between top 50k, top 10k, obviously if you can get there is fantastic, right? But anything top 50k, top 100k, I think is amazing already. Do you think De Bruyne will start? I think he'll start one. I'm not sure if he'll start both of them. Is Rashford playing this game week? So apparently the news on Twitter is that Rashford hasn't traveled yet. Right? Apparently the news on Twitter is that Rashford hasn't traveled, but we don't know. We don't. Basically the video that was sent out on Twitter, someone went to scout at Bournemouth, right? Look at the team bus that was arriving, and basically players were getting off the bus. Everyone was getting off, right? Wan-Bissaka, Martial, one by one, Sancho, and then the video just stops there, and then there's at the end of the video there's a bit of noise from the people down there shouting Rashford's name, and basically every time a player comes off the bus they're shouting the players' names, right? So the fact that there was a little bit of people at the end shouting Rashford's name, maybe he's traveled, nobody knows for certain basically. So there's a lot of speculation going on right now. But I think we just take it as it is, right? That currently there's a potential that he misses out Bournemouth, but I still think he'll be back in time for Chelsea. It's not a fitness issue, it's just an illness. So if the quote from Ten Hag is basically that if he's feeling well, right, then there's every chance he can play, right? So we'll hope for that. If not, then I think Chelsea has a single game week fixture. In 38 as well, he has Fulham. We just keep him. Do you recommend Isak to Alvarez? I'm much more comfortable selling Isak than Wilson, I'll be honest. Who to sell, Trippier or Stones in this game week? I would sell Trippier. Jota to Alvarez and Rashford benched. If you have Rashford, I would just start Rashford. I mean, imagine he starts against Bournemouth. Imagine that. Jota to Alvarez. Yeah, I think I would do that actually. I think I would do Jota to Alvarez. What about Enciso's minutes? I'm actually pretty confident of Enciso's minutes. I'm quietly confident of Enciso's minutes. And I do have to make my changes. I'll make them in a bit, but I am quite confident of Enciso's minutes because he already got a rest. And honestly speaking, from the eye test, he just looks quite skillful. I mean, out of all the out of all the Brighton attackers, I think in terms of flair, Enciso has the most flair. Is transferring Rashford out necessary? I don't think so. Saka to Rashford or Bruno for a minus. Saka to Bruno. I'll do Saka to Bruno. Daniel says, hey, I was thinking Isak to Alvarez, Rashford to Mahrez, 2 free transfers, already have 3 Brighton and 3 Man United. Benching Trippier, Botman and Greenwood. I can move Trippier to a Man City defender, but I have a benching headache. I think Isak to Alvarez is fine. I think you can keep Rashford. Your other free transfer, you could do Trippier to a Man City defender. If not, you could roll as well. You could roll the other one into game week 38. Option 1, Foden to Bruno, Isak to Alvarez for a -4. Option 2, Isak to Martial. See, the option 1 is also something that I considered. Right, is interesting because let's say, all right, let me pull up the transfer planner. I don't want to make the transfers on the actual site so you guys can see the full, exactly the predicament that I'm in. Right, so let's give it a try. Let me line it up in exactly how it is in the app. Yeah, alright. As is at the moment, my team currently looks like this. So transfers wise, what I plan to do for game week 37, right, is to sell Solly March to Bruno Fernandes. And then do Isak to Enciso, right? This is one of the combinations that I have. So it basically gives me triple Brighton, triple Man United, triple City, and double Liverpool for their Enfield fixture. All this for a -4. And I have 9 double game week players. So I really like this one. But there's also another combination that I was thinking about that WB just pointed out. Right, which is that if I reverse the transfers, I could do Foden to Bruno Fernandes instead. And then Isak to Alvarez because I freed up a Man City slot. And then lining up my team, I would probably line it up like this. I know Trippier is the yellow flag, so it is a little bit of a bummer, but if he's fit, right, this is the team that I would go with if I did the second combination, right, which is the Foden out for Fernandes and Isak to Alvarez move. So again, there's the same triple up on Man United, the same double up on Liverpool. I have Mitoma and Stupinian as well. The only difference basically, right, is whether I have Alvarez or Foden, right, in terms of Man City asset, and also whether I have Enciso or Trippier, right? So Trippier plus Alvarez versus Foden plus Enciso. Trippier and Alvarez versus Enciso and Foden. I actually honestly prefer Enciso and Foden. Right, let me know what you guys. Right, I put a poll and I'll see what you guys think. But I'm really leaning towards the original plan. Right, I had both these ideas in mind. Right, but I still think I'm leaning towards the first one. Right, I'll put a poll in the chat and let me know what you guys think. Isak plus March to Fernandes and Ciso. And the other one is Foden and Isak to Fernandes and Alvarez. Alright, let me know what you guys think. I've put a poll. And I'll switch back to the original layout so you guys can see my predicament basically. I want to know what you guys think. I am really leaning towards the first one, right? To give me 9 doublers. I mean, Trippier, honestly, Trippier being yellow flagged is also something that plays into my mind a little bit. Pretty split actually. Oh, some of you guys prefer the Alvarez move actually. That's interesting. Who to buy instead of Tony? If you're replacing Tony this week, I think if you're already tripled up, I mean Alvarez seems like the perfect replacement for Ivan Toney if you're not tripled up on Man City. If not, then Ferguson and Ciso, pretty good. Rashford available for the first game. Not sure at the moment, right? Nobody really knows. Triple captain. Best player for triple captain. This is interesting. Right, because captaincy in itself is already difficult, right? I will have Bruno Fernandes in my team once I made my transfers. So it's whether I go Bruno Fernandes or I go Erling Haaland. I think I'm probably still going to captain Haaland. Yeah, I think put it this way. If I was chasing rank or I'm chasing mini league, I would captain Bruno Fernandes. If I wanted to go safe, I would captain Haaland. Yeah, it's pretty. I think that sums it up pretty nicely. Free hit this game week or game week 38. I have 2 free transfers. If you free hit this week, you don't get to carry over your 2 free transfers, right? If you free hit this week, there's only 1 free transfer for next week. That said, it depends on your team, right? It depends on how well your team is set up. According to Fantasy Football Scout points predictions for the last 2 game weeks, the top 6 players are Haaland, Fernandes, Salah, Mahrez, De Gea, and McAllister. Hopefully they are on my team. Yeah, I mean those are obviously the ones that we would be targeting, right? City assets, United assets. Salah, he has Aston Villa at home. Southampton in game week 38 is a fixture that I definitely want Salah, right? So I don't think I would advise anyone to sell Salah for Kevin De Bruyne this week. Good morning, Uchiha Dan. I'm good. Hope you're good as well. Do you think Grealish should be a sell this week? No. I would keep Grealish this week. I think he gets the Chelsea game. I'm pretty sure he gets the Chelsea game. I mean, as a Foden owner, I already know that I think Grealish will start the Chelsea game. Is Lindelof a good option? I don't mind Darlow to Lindelof if you're asking for a Darlow replacement. Play Gross or Isak or transfer in Eze or Alvarez for a -4. I think Isak to Alvarez for a -4. Maybe I wouldn't do that. I don't think I would do Isak to Alvarez for a -4. For free, I think Isak to Alvarez is fine. Sharad says Enciso Hall incoming. Yeah, I mean, I honestly have a feeling about Enciso. I don't know if the chat is going to convince me otherwise. 69% of you guys favor the other one, the other move, basically, the one that I'm not really keen on. That's the thing. When I haven't confirmed my transfers and I come on stream, it is tough. It is tough because then I have to seriously consider what you guys are saying. Alvarez and Trippier versus Foden and Enciso. I mean, do we even know if Trippier starts? That's the thing. I think Fernandes is just one of those anomalies who just has amazing stats but minimal FPL returns. Exactly. He is top of the predictions though this week. Jeremiah says buy Enciso or Estupinian. I would go for the attacker. I think there's more upside to the attacker. You think Enciso plays too? I do think so, if I'm honest. I do think so. He got a rest against Newcastle already. I do think Enciso plays too. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to advise like everyone to go for Enciso. There's a chance he may be, benched here and there. So there is a risk. Buy Martial or go Salah to Fernandes. I wouldn't sell Salah this week. Right, buy Martial or go Salah to Fernandes, or -8 to get Fernandes in for Grealish. Right, so if Salah is your only route to Bruno Fernandes, do you do it? That's tricky. Then I think I prefer the hit, to be honest. I prefer maybe a -4 and -8 to get Bruno Fernandes in then. Salah against Southampton in Game Week 38 just plays in my mind too much, I think. Keep Trippier or Isak. I much rather keep Isak. On your poll now, surely you consider second option to get Fernandes and Alvarez. I think Foden will likely start one of the two games. Alvarez has a higher probability to have over 120 minutes in Game Week 37. I mean, that is 100% true. I completely understand the Alvarez versus Foden comparison. I actually do think, that Alvarez could start both, right? Because he could start the first one in place of Kevin De Bruyne. He could start the second one in place of Haaland if Haaland gets rested. So I do fancy Alvarez. Talking myself into the second one though. What's the Rashford latest? We're too early. We're too early for now. But currently, there's no real news that he has travelled. Right, I'm checking Twitter every so often. I'm checking Twitter every so often, and basically there's nothing at the moment. What to do with Kepa? Kepa's situation is tricky. The Kepa situation is tricky. If he's your only keeper though, if you have, alright, let's say some of you guys still have Kepa plus Raya. Right? I think you could justify selling Kepa. Right? I think you could justify selling Kepa. Because honestly speaking, there's no saying who will start the next game. Kepa for Ederson. Right, so if I was looking for a replacement keeper, right, Jason Steele is definitely the one I would prefer for this game week. The thing is, Ederson, he's also not secure for minutes this week. Like, it's not like Ederson is going to definitely get both, because if they secure the Premier League against Chelsea, the one against Brighton, they could just completely do a massive overhaul and change the team. Maybe De Gea then, to be honest. Maybe De Gea. Like, Kepa to De Gea is, I think, is a decent move as well. Any thoughts on Laporte? A little bit risky. I don't think he's I don't think he's nailed for 2 as well. City defensive assets are tougher to predict than City midfielders. Someone says Undav Hall. Undav Hall. Well, I don't have enough money to get Undav. Would I consider him ahead of Enciso or Ferguson though? I think I get the appeal of Undav for sure. I get the appeal of Undav. Grealish better or Mahrez? I would go for Mahrez if I could choose this week. Hold on. I think Alvarez's ceiling is higher than Enciso. I agree with it. Essentially on the poll, I think option 1 is more exciting, option 2 is more template. Everyone votes option 2 because they're probably already done similar. That's interesting. Fernandes and Alvarez definitely the template picks, I agree. And Enciso just... I just have this feeling about Enciso against Southampton. Right, there's still a bit of time. I will finalize the moves before I end the stream. Right, I will finalize my moves before I end the stream because I won't be available just before the deadline. So I have to finalize my moves. Would you captain Foden if we knew Haaland only played 100 to 120 minutes this game week? No, I wouldn't captain Foden for sure. Edison and Rashford out for De Gea and Mahrez, or Edison and Mitoma out for Steele and Mahrez. Honestly, I would keep. You're taking a hit for both of them. I would just keep both Edison and Rashford. I'll be honest. I need to get Trent in my team. Should I get him this game week or game week 38? I also need to sell either Trippier or Stones to get him and downgrade maybe Isak to Enciso. Trippier to Trent, Isak to Enciso. I honestly think I would do it. I think I would do it, right? Because I do think Callum Wilson will start again. That's the thing, right? There is there's some speculation that Wilson won't start, but honestly speaking, they play on Tuesday, right? Monday night. They play on Monday night, right? So I think there is enough rest for Callum Wilson, right? And with the form he's in, I actually do think he will start against Leicester. So that also leaves Isak in the left wing position again, which isn't great. So I don't mind selling Trippier to Trent and funding it with Isak to Ferguson, to Enciso. Emmanuel says, I'm also doing the Enciso move, join me. Regret my transfers now. I could have done KDB and Rashford to Mahrez and Fernandes. I mean, if you have KDB, you just pray that he starts, right? Who are you captaining this week? Isak? No, I haven't made my transfers yet. I'm going to be making it in a bit. I'll be making my transfers in a bit. I'm going to play the free hit suggestions. Should I go for all double game week players? I think you can avoid Chelsea players, but the rest of them, I think you go with 9 double game week players and 2 single game week players. Should I play Dalo or bench him? Honestly, don't think he'll start. Right, so I don't mind Dalo to Lindelof as well. if you have Rashford, I think you start him. If you have Rashford, I think you start him. How worried are you about Mitoma being benched against Southampton? Mitoma honestly has still been performing pretty well, right? In terms of numbers, maybe he's not getting as many goals, as many assists, but from the eye test, I still think like Mitoma has been playing well, right? So I don't see any real reason, aside from that game that he was rested, I don't see any real reason why you would bench Mitoma. At least this is talking about from De Zerbi's perspective. The poll is more even now. Yeah, it's at 45%, 55% now. I have to confirm my moves. All right. March to Fernandez. Don't worry, I'm not confirming anything. Isak to NC, so let's take a look first. Right, leaves me with 0.2 in the bank. Right, the other alternative is Foden to Fernandez. And Isak to Alvarez. I would start Estufinian, Shaw, Trent, right? And then I'll be forced to start Botman as well. I mean, if Trippier is not fit, right? Honestly speaking, because if I had the option to play Trippier, if he was fit, I think I wouldn't mind switching to this one. But just because Trippier is no longer, I mean, he's yellow flagged, right? I think I would just go for the safer option and do March to Fernandez and Isak to Enciso. Right, because if I have to play Trippier if I make this move. Alright, a bit more time. I've got a bit more time. 5 to 10 more minutes. I just need a little bit more time to think. Marius, thank you for the super chat. I own Bruno and no Mo Salah. What to do with Kevin De Bruyne? 1 free transfer, 2.2 in the bank. You own Bruno, it's fantastic. Of course, you keep him. No Mo Salah. And you have Kevin De Bruyne. If you have Kevin De Bruyne, I think you just keep, right? Kevin De Bruyne is also in a situation where he'll probably start one and rest the other, right? So assuming he starts the Chelsea one, he does love a goal against Chelsea always, right? But regardless, I mean, thinking about it objectively, Kevin De Bruyne against Chelsea, I think that could be a game we see quite a couple of goals from City. So even if he only plays one, I still think like you would keep Kevin De Bruyne for that fixture. And Salah at home against Aston Villa, I think whether you make that move for a 1 free transfer, I don't think it'll be worth it. You could do that move in game week 38 instead, right? So you can actually roll your free transfer. Joe Cullen says, I remember Enciso did wobble off so minutes could be reduced. He looked fine. He looked fine after the game. I was watching the Newcastle-Brighton game. He looked fine. I mean, towards the end, he even had a chance to score. Yeah, Red One says, Ten Hag's quote basically says that Rashford is ill, yeah. Grealish, play or bench, definitely start Grealish. Start Dalot or Trippier. I honestly don't think Dalot will start. Trippier, he's also yellow flagged. So Dalot to Lindelof. Why are you captaining Isak? I'm not captaining Isak. Just give me a moment to make the transfers. I just have to decide whether I want to... I think I'll go for the first one though, you guys. I mean, I appreciate the votes. And I totally get the Alvarez option as well. The last time I went against what the stream said, it turned out horribly. So, if I go against what you guys say again, and it doesn't work out, Game Week 38, tell me what to do and I'll just follow. Morning, Joseph. Darwin and Rashford out for Enciso and Bruno, or Darwin, March and Botman out for Enciso, Bruno and Tarkowski. I prefer keeping Rashford, so I would go for the second option, but I don't think I would go for Tarkowski. I'll find a better replacement. Uchiha Dan's bringing Sterling in and captaining him. Start Isak or Ferguson, please. Ferguson. 2 free transfers. Remove Edison or Isak for Mendy / Alvarez. I would just keep. I'll just keep Edison. So Isak to Alvarez, I think is something you can consider. Isak to Alvarez is something I would consider, especially for free in your situation. Use my free transfer on Zinchenko to Shaw. I have Saka, Watkins, and Alex Moreno in my team at the moment. I don't mind taking a hit. Need to close a 20-point gap. 4.2 in the bank. Suggestions. Watkins and Moreno. I think you could sell either one of them for Man City assets, right? So either Watkins to Alvarez or Moreno to Stones, maybe. Isak and Grealish to Alvarez and Bruno for a -4. Oh, this one is interesting. Isak and Grealish to Alvarez and Bruno. It's basically similar to my second option. It's just that you're having Grealish instead. Honestly, if I have Grealish, I'm more confident of Grealish getting more minutes than Foden. So I don't think I would sell Grealish for Alvarez. I'll find another way to get Bruno. FPL K-Mac. Will you be getting Fernandes in? Yes. Is Rashford playing? No news at the moment. I'm still monitoring Twitter. Alright, I'm gonna make my transfers. It's time. Okay. Yeah, I think I'll do the Enciso move. I'm just not confident of starting Trippier this week. Could backfire, but I much rather start Enciso over Enciso plus Foden. It's a combination, right? Enciso plus Foden over Trippier plus Alvarez. I'll calculate the point difference at the end, and then we can assess the decision. So March to Fernandes. And Isak to Enciso. Alright. -4 hit. 0.2 in the bank remaining. Make transfers. Okay, I'm gonna do it. Confirmed. Right, so let's line the team up. Trippier on the bench ahead of Botman. So Edison, Shaw, Trent, Estupinian, Fernandes, Foden, Mitoma, Salah and Rashford, Enciso and Haaland. I'd probably captain Haaland still. I think I would captain Haaland still. I would vice captain Bruno Fernandes. And Save team. Alright. I think this is what I'm going for. I'm in the NCSO camp now, for those of you guys in the chat. I'm in the NCSO camp. Alright, let's just confirm. Alright. Changes made, guys. Okay. Sorry, I left off in the chat. Give me a moment. No, Bruno this week is going to hurt. I can't justify Salah to Bruno. Honestly, Salah to Bruno, if he's your only route, yeah, I don't think I would do Salah to Bruno, honestly speaking. So I'll find another way to get Bruno Fernandes. -8 for Fernandes, Alvarez, and Kiwo in for Grealish, Trippier, and Wilson. Oof. I guess so. Buys you a couple of extra fixtures, I guess so. Rashford to Mahrez / Isak to Alvarez for a -4. I prefer Isak to Alvarez. Could you have a look at some of our teams, please? Alright, I'll put up a Twitter help in a moment. So you guys can send your teams there. Do managers usually go wild at the end of the season and go risky? This is my first one. Well, not really wild, to be honest. Just taking a couple of differential punts. I mean, it's the last couple of game weeks. The reason why punts come out more at the end is basically you're not stuck with them for like a good couple of game weeks, like 5 to 6 game weeks before you can actually transfer this player out. If you bring the player in, like let's say I bring in Ciso in game week 37 now, it doesn't work out. I just bench him in game week 38 and then, you know, we're done with the season. Does Alvarez start in game week 38? We don't even know if he's going to start in game week 37. I would think he starts in game week 37. He chose Enciso over Alvarez because of a higher ceiling. Not really. I think Alvarez actually has the highest ceiling, but I mean, a couple of factors, right? Budget, and what it allows my team to do as well. How many fixtures I'll be getting after that. Which midfielder to sell for Bruno Fernandes? Salah, McAllister, Mitoma, Grealish, Rashford, Captain Bruno if chasing. Wow. That one is tough. Salah, McAllister, Mitoma, Grealish, Rashford. Alright, definitely not McAllister, definitely not Mitoma. So it's either Grealish or Rashford. I think Rashford will be back as well, at least for the Chelsea one, right? The Bournemouth game, we don't really know. 38, you want Rashford as well. I mean, something you could consider, which I don't think I would do it myself, but I think it's worth considering. Rashford to Bruno Fernandes for this game week, and then bring Rashford back next week if you don't have transfers banked. Right? I don't think I would do it myself, but at least it's worth considering. Should have gone for more Southampton players. Best team in the league. Has got to be a troll that. Ali Max says, Leon, who is the one player you fear that you don't have? That's a good one. For this week, honestly, I fear Mahrez, if I'm honest. I fear Mahrez this week. I think he will pop off. McAllister, I'm not as afraid. I'm not as afraid of not having McAllister. I'm more afraid of not having Mahrez, actually. Hence, he's on the thumbnail. I think he's I would ideally have Mahrez. If I actually brought Mahrez in game week 35, which was when I brought Foden in, I think I would have a good couple more points and maybe closer to the top 50k. Should I do Salah to Mahrez? No, I wouldn't do that. Kepa to De Gea or Grealish to Mahrez, please. Kepa to De Gea. Do I take a -8 for Watkins to Alvarez and Moreno to Stone/DS? Watkins to Alvarez for a -4 is fine. Moreno to Stones/DS. I'm not confident both of them. I'm not confident of City defensive assets. I'll be honest. Arya says, who are the penalty takers for Crystal Palace? FPL Consult Tier 2 member for 3 months. Thank you very much. Penalty takers for Crystal Palace, right? So firstly, Zaha is out for the rest of the season. So it's looking like it'll be Eze. I think Eze took the last one. So I do think like it'll still be Eze for Crystal Palace. And Eze is actually a great punt to have for Game Week 38 as well. So I think I may hop onto Eze in 38. Help, is Grealish to Mahrez a good move? I don't think I would do Grealish to Mahrez. Still have my bench boost. How will I close a 30-point gap? Well, get as many fixtures as you can. I mean, that is the generic advice. Should I replace Foden or Rashford, and for who? I already got Bruno and Salah. I'm keeping both of them. So Man City has 3 matches left. How many matches does Stones start? If I have to guess though, if I have to make a prediction, I think he starts 2 out of 3. Grealish to Mahrez is a good move. I wouldn't do Grealish to Mahrez. Alright. Let's change the poll then. Right, I've already made the moves. Thank you guys for voting. Let's change it to captaincy. Captaincy poll for game week 37. So I'm going to put the popular options. and I'm going to see... I'll put a few differentials as well. Alright, I'm going to go for Haaland, Bruno... Let's put Alvarez in as well for those chasing, and let's put Mahrez as well. Let's see. I can only put 4 options. If I could put more, I would. But let's see what you guys are doing for captaincy. Morning FPL Jelly, done Watkins and March to Enciso and Mahrez for free. Awesome. Great moves there. Great moves. James Nightingale says, what do you think of Alvarez, Fernandez and Kiwo for Foden, Isak and Botman for a -8? 9 double game week players. Foden, Isak and Botman. I don't mind it. I don't mind this -8. And honestly, the -8 is the maximum that I will go for this week. I don't think I'll take a -12. Chasing rank after last week's Isak man. Shall I go for Fernandez or Alvarez for captain's armband? If you are chasing rank, I think if I was chasing rank, I would captain Fernandez. Right, I mean, okay, look at the poll. The poll literally has 67% Haaland. So obviously Haaland will be the outright captaincy shout for game week 37. But if you want to go different, then Bruno is at 21. This is a similar situation to what we saw last week with Isak and Wilson. Maybe about 60% for Isak, maybe 20% for Wilson, and then the rest is other players. Similar situation, so it's pretty straightforward. If you're going for a differential captain, you just captain the next best option, which is Bruno Fernandes already. What about the best free hit for Gameweek 37? I did a video with the highest predicted points players. You can take a look at that one. Is Anthony a good move for Rashford? Nah, I would keep Rashford. Uchiha then really pushing the Sterling agenda. Sharad says Haaland gonna play 90 minutes in 2 games. Maybe not 90 minutes. I do think he'll get minutes in both, but I don't think 90 minutes of both games. Is Rashford to Mahrez for free a good move? I wouldn't do that. Bruno playing great, but the returns aren't there often enough. Haaland for me. Fair? Do I take a -8 for Watkins to Alvarez and Moreno to Trent, chasing a 20-point gap? -8 for Watkins to Alvarez. I mean, you could argue that you want Trent in 38 as well. I guess you could do that. Why not Ferguson instead of Enciso? Rested last match. Ferguson played against Newcastle though. Let me check. I think he started against let me check. Oh, he didn't start against oh well, he came on in the 56th minute. Same for Enciso as well. They came on at the same time. I honestly think Enciso is if I have to guarantee minutes between Enciso and Ferguson, there's so many players that could play in that Ferguson position though. Danny Welbeck, Undav could also play there. But there's not a lot of options, right, for the wings. Bruno Norte, Mitoma, and Enciso are the ones. So because of that, I would still go for Enciso. Is Garnacho a good risk? Garnacho, I don't think I would go so far as to take that risk for Garnacho. Just checking if there's any team leagues at the moment. Not at the moment. Still nothing much. I'll let you guys know if I see anything on Twitter. Start 2 of Trippier, Diaz, or Isak. Isak and Diaz. FPL K-Max says, I'm chasing rank. I think Isak to Alvarez and Grealish to Bruno for a -4 might pay off. Also, what's the point of keeping Grealish if he's not going to play both games? Fair? I think if in combination, those two moves, I think is fine. Is it worth to get a City defender to play over Trippier? I don't own Trent at the moment. But I have Shaw, Trippier, Stupinian 1.6 in the bank. It wouldn't be my Trippier to a City defender, right? I mean, if you don't have any other ways to triple up, right? Ideally, you would have just one defensive asset, one midfielder, and one attacker, or two forwards, basically, Alvarez and Haaland. Would I do Trippier to a Man City defender? I think I would, but I would just go for the safest one, which I don't think is Stones. I think if I were to choose a City defender, it could be a Kanji. It could be a Kanji. Because I've seen a couple of predictions on Twitter, predictions that have been pretty reliable across the season. The Kanji comes up as one of the more, I guess you can say, the best of the worst, right, in terms of minutes, because it's so hard to predict the minutes for the defenders. Who is the best keeper for this week? I would actually think it's De Gea. I would think it's De Gea this week. Start Wilson or Alvarez? Alvarez, 100%. Trippier to Shaw or Roll? I would do Trippier to Shaw. Thoughts on Grealish to Fernandes for a -8? Already transferred Kepa and Chilwell for Shaw and De Gea. Yes, I would do that. I would prioritize Fernandes. Kane to Salah. Kane to Salah. Kane to Salah. That would take a couple of transfers, but Harry Kane is super consistent though. Harry Kane is super consistent. I don't think it's a priority transfer. And let me put it this way. I don't think Kane to Salah is a priority. Any news on Dalot? No news, but I don't think he'll start. Would you do Mitoma and Isak to Bruno and then Enciso for a hit? 11-point lead. Rival has got Mitoma. Nah, I think you look for other ways. You look for other ways to go different. I would try to keep Mitoma this week, basically. But I do like Enciso as a pick for a differential. De Gea and Walker or Kepa and Shaw need to replace Dalot. Kepa is a bit dangerous. De Gea and Walker. Don't really like Walker, don't really like Kepa. De Gea and a Kanji maybe, if you can afford it. If you can afford De Gea and a Kanji. Triple captain Bruno or Haaland. If you're chasing rank, you triple captain Bruno. If you want to go safe, then you captain Haaland. Play Trippier over one Bisaka or Kanji? Never. I would start both of them ahead of Trippier. Hi Leon, already made a transfer. Is it worth to make -4 moves? Isak to Wilson? Nah, I wouldn't do that. I just 9 points ahead in the mini league. He has Bruno and I have Mahrez. Would you do Salah to Bruno or take a hit to get him in? Otherwise, I just get De Gea in for Edison. You're doing a great job. Thank you very much. He has Bruno. I have Mahrez. Would you do Salah to Bruno or take a hit to get him in? Otherwise, I would just get De Gea in for Edison. Wow, this is tough. I do think like Bruno Fernandes is a priority transfer. I've been saying it the whole stream. Just don't really like selling Salah to get Bruno. I would try to take hits elsewhere to fit Bruno Fernandes in, because Salah you will want in 38 as well. I would try to do that. I was thinking of captaining Estupinian. What's your take on that? We may have to come back and clip this, but I don't think I'll captain Estupinian this week. Excuse me. De Bruyne to Bruno? Nah, I'll keep De Bruyne. Unless it's part of a combination move though, because I will still want triple City this week basically. The play for Man City this week is whichever midfielder you have, or let's say you have Alvarez as well, whichever one you have, you keep and you just hope that that player plays both. It's too hard to predict, right? It relies on too many different scenarios. Do you think Trippier starts this week? He is yellow flag, so it's hard to say. It's hard to say. Right, guys, I think I've got to end the stream in about maybe 10 minutes. Right, so get your questions in. I'll answer as many as I can before we end the stream. Thank you guys for joining as well. If you haven't liked already, do drop a like on the stream and also subscribe. We're actually 4 subscribers away from 4,100. So if you guys could drop a subscribe, that would be awesome. Alright, get your questions in. Buy Rashford or Estupinian for a -4. If you don't have Rashford this week, do you buy him? I don't think I would buy Rashford if I don't have him because it's already a risk. Estupinian for a -4. Possibly, yeah, I think so. De Bruyne to Bruno. I would keep De Bruyne and I'll find another way to get Bruno Fernandes. Kepa and Dalot to Edison and Shaw. I actually prefer Kepa and Dalot to De Gea and Akanji. I prefer that combination. Isak to Mahrez for free. You mean as part of a hit, as part of a combination move? I like Isak as a midfield pick, basically. I'll put it that way. Pick 2 out of these 4 to start. Gehi, Trippier, Isak, and Gabriel Jesus. I would start Jesus. I would start Isak. That's the 2 I would start. Should I take a -8 to get Alvarez and Trent in for Watkins and Trippier? I would do that. Sell Trippier for Trent for a -4. Yeah, I would do that as well, right? Because I mean, I'm telling everyone to take hits, but basically, Trippier to Trent, the way I see it is Trent is great for 38 as well, right? So in isolation, it's not just a -4 for this week. Is it better to have De Gea or Rashford this week? I'm not confident that Rashford starts Bournemouth. If you have him, he's in a don't buy, don't sell kind of situation for Rashford. Edison rotation risk? Yeah, Edison is a rotation risk. Yeah, exactly. The medal situation. That is why Edison is a rotation risk, basically. Michael says, did the exact same transfers as you. Hope Enciso does the business. I'm torn between starting Wilson or Mitoma with the fear of Mitoma being rested for the Southampton game. I just have to favor the doubler, to be honest. I just have to start Mitoma. But I do hope that Enciso does the business 100%. Arya says, I'm winning my mini league best FPL coach. Congratulations, man. Arya has been a member with the channel early days. I think game week 4, game week 3 maybe. So it's been a joy interacting with all the members. So there are 3 membership tiers right now. It'll carry on into next season as well. Right, so for those of you who, I think now maybe it's not that great to be, the perks won't be as useful basically, right? Because the season is coming to an end. But for those of you who want to become members, the start of next season would be great. There is there's 3 tiers. So the first one is the priority replies. There's badges as well next to your name. Tier 2 would be the early access to videos and also a private Discord chat with all the other members, like Area is in. And last would be tier 3 would be a one-on-one team feedback on Discord, right? So those of you who are interested next season, you could join as members. The link is the first link in the description. Is Gundogan a good option? Honestly, there's no saying that there's no saying that Gundogan will start both. For those who are buying Gundogan for his hauls in, let's say, game week, the last 2 Premier League games basically, the point is that moving forward, will he start both games? How much minutes will he get? And what kind of positions will he play? Is it in the same advanced position that will get him those returns? Right, so as much as I do think Gundogan is a decent pick, right, I think the bandwagon could be a little bit overhyped. I do think that I do think so. Would you sell Grealish to get Foden for a -4? I wouldn't. Do you know why players' price changes less than 2 hours before the deadline? It doesn't though. It doesn't. The price changed quite early in the morning. Oops, I said wrongly. 1 defender from Guehi/Trippier and 1 forward from Jesus/Isak. I'll go for Jesus. And Guehi or Trippier. I'll start Trippier. Good morning. Which Man City defender do you think will play both? Good morning, Stevo. This one is tough. What are your thoughts on Kyle Walker? I think if I have to choose the Man City defender that I want to go for this game week, if I was going for one, I think it would be a Kanji, right? In terms of minutes, right? Simply the expected minutes. 1 free transfer, Isak to Alvarez or roll. Already winning my mini league. OR is 66. Awesome. 1 free transfer, Isak to Alvarez or roll. I would be tempted to do Isak to Alvarez. I'm sure you're tempted as well. Eze or Odegaard. Wow, that one is tough. Thing with Arsenal is that they're in a situation where they don't really have much to play for anymore, to be honest. But I still think they would try to go all out and win that game. So maybe Odegaard, right? Maybe Odegaard. Can you post a Twitter for our teams? Oh my days, I forgot about that. Right? But I gotta end the stream now though, right? So I'll post my team on Twitter in a bit. And you can reply to that, and I'll reply to as many comments as I can to the tweet. Edison to De Gea and Isak to Alvarez. Edison to De Gea I don't think is very necessary. Isak to Alvarez I think is fine. Right, loads of questions coming in. I've gotta go, guys. Alright, I'll answer the last few questions, then I've got to go. Sell Emerson, Mitoma, and Wilson for Steele, Mahrez, and Alvarez for a -4. You mean Ederson, right? I'll keep Ederson, I keep Mitoma, I just do Wilson to Alvarez. Bruno or Haaland for captaincy. If you're captaining Haaland, if you're chasing, you captain Bruno. If you are protecting rank or you're going defensive for your mini league, you captain Haaland. Morning Pearl, 2 free transfers, Mitoma and Isak to Alvarez and Odegaard or Mahrez and Enciso. I would keep Mitoma. Isak to Alvarez is what I would do. Yeah. Alright guys, thank you guys for tuning in so much. I will see you guys very soon for Game Week 38 content. Game Week 38 is the last game week of the season. Alright, so thank you all for the support this season. I appreciate it. We are at 4.1 subscribers. We hit 4.1. Thank you very much for everyone who subscribed, who came down and tuned in. And yeah, all the best for Game Week 37. This is my team on the screen right now. Hopefully Enciso does the business. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the Game Week 38 content, which should be out very soon. Alright, bye-bye.